this video may seem kind of out of nowhere. I mean, I made rants about people and situations in general in the past. I don't really do this. I don't really do YouTuber focused type of videos. However, for some reason, Onision's history of pattern of behavior is a red flag in so many ways. So yes, this video is going to be about Onision, or aka Greg. And before going any further, the following statement is conjecture and opinion. Okay, so Onision, Greg, first of all, he has been a YouTube staple for years. He's relevant and will remain relevant as being a pioneer to the YouTuber Manipulation Hall of Fame. And we all know this. He's been around for a long time. As of the last 3 years, he has been surrounded by, a little over 3 years, he's been surrounded by controversy regarding grooming female minors and destroying a wetland. If you don't know who he is, well, you're lucky. Moving on to why I'm ranting. Okay, I think it needs to be said I think it needs to be said what everything seems to be leading up to. Since I'm not a person to mince words, I'll come straight out and say what can be assumed. Greg seems to be in the process of trying to form a cult. It sounds odd, yes, I know. In today's environment, with his notoriety, it is a very possible and real threat. There are a lot of very young girls out there who want to feel accepted. Unfortunately, Greg and Lainey picked up on that. And at first, I thought he was just looking for multiple wives, honestly. I thought that he was just going to make a little harem for himself, which is not necessarily a cult. But after doing a little more digging, I think it might go a little beyond that. This is not a situation just being pushed by Greg. A huge amount of influence and manipulation is coming from his wife, Lainey. She is the low-key bait to gain members for the cult. The entire assumption is that Greg and Lainey befriended at least 2 young girls to keep Lainey happy. In almost every event that has come up, it was Lainey who wanted a friend. Greg, it seems, has no friends of his own, so he sees every young girl Lainey gets along with as being equally into him. And you can't deny this type of mentality on someone like Greg because he's so full of himself. Of course he would think that everybody was into him that his wife was into, or was into his wife. If Lainey is unwittingly baiting these girls, I might feel sorry for her and say things like, "Oh, she just wants friends to talk to." Unfortunately, there is too much evidence that Lainey willingly introduces the girls to Greg and allows him to further manipulate the situation to his benefit. This alleged grooming of young women answers the question of who are the targeted as potential new members. Now let's take a look at the actual religious aspects. Currently, or as of late, this man is a self-proclaimed atheist. I think he's been an atheist for quite some time, though, actually. Quote-unquote atheist or something like that. Who really knows what his stance on religion is? He says that he hates all things religious-based. However, a long time ago, Greg had made a video talking about Seseska, a religion he created. I'll not go down that rabbit hole of explaining what that religion's all about, but if you want to know more about it, Second Clancy made a great video kind of explaining what it's about. The point is, he was not as popular at the time, and when he made that video, he didn't understand yet how to manipulate an audience. Believing in religion is boring, dull, and ugh. So he quickly turned around and hated all religions at face value. If we go back to Seseska, you can see just how much time and effort he put into it, that he would not be able to just drop it. There are so many details to that religion that it's kind of mind-boggling that he could just drop it and not believe in anything. So to be more relatable, or because it's not his own, he bashes religions on camera. It is possible that he practices Seseska off camera at home with his wife and kids. But that is just speculation. The last sign something else may be going on is the whole debacle he had with the wetlands. Obviously, Greg had big plans for his backyard, plans that basically gave a huge middle finger to Mother Nature. Then the question comes up, what was he planning to build? A wetland in your backyard is a beautiful thing to most people. What could he possibly have been planning? One suggestion, it may be a little bit far-fetched, but it's still a suggestion, can be that he may be building, or he may have been trying to build, a small compound where he and his followers would have a protected place to live. However, due to it being zoned as wetlands, protecting wildlife instead before he even came along, those plans were nixed. Okay, so let's take a look at the literal definition of cult. System of religious veneration and devotion toward a particular figure or object. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nobody is following or devoting themselves like that to Greg. And you're correct. It's not Greg that these girls are falling for. It's not Greg that is seeking them out. It's not Greg seeking the companionship of these young girls. Whether Lainey realizes it or not, she is the lure or even the figure of religious veneration. To hear the girls speak, many times they say it was Greg as being the mastermind and that he is manipulating Lainey. But Lainey is very like-minded to Greg. I understand he may have groomed her as well when they first met, but at this point, she is his 24-year-old wife, and they now have 2 kids together. She is very capable of making her own decisions and is aware of cause and effect. Anyway, the whole situation with Greg and his pattern of behavior online is increasingly predatory in nature. The level to which he will go to manipulate an audience is extreme. But if there are people who still believe he is completely innocent, he's not going to stop. And I just fear for a lot of those young girls out there who are believing the situation regarding Lainey. Like, I don't know. I've been in relationships and in my own family where someone can be so incredibly convincing that they're so lonely and fall for it. And at the time, you think that you're going to be, the greatest friends or offer like help and support to one another when it's one-sided and you become used in the end. It's dangerous for young girls out there. I just felt that things needed to be said without all the nitpicking and he said, she said crap. I'm not going to get into the drama and stuff like that. I'm just, from pretty much an outside perspective, somebody who doesn't really follow Onision or Lainey or anything like that, or the whole situation, that I haven't done like in-depth research into this. But yeah, I mean, if you just look at it simply, then you can see something is incredibly wrong here. So anyway, thank you for joining me today and allowing me into your home. Remember, you are all making this world a better place by being in it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for giving me your time. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.